Welcome to our daily reflection for this Tuesday, June 4th. And I want to look at the readings through the lens that we had in the great feast of Corpus Christi on Sunday. And that's what the church invites us to do. The Sunday readings usually set the tone and a theme and a lens by which we hear the daily readings. And that's particularly, especially true when there's a feast. And so here I want to look at, in light of Sunday's readings, the readings that we have today. And if you look at the readings we have today, we have the end now of 2 Peter, which talks about judgment and new creation and being patient for the return of God. He will come in a second coming with judgment, so be ready. And then we have the Psalm 90, which talks about the shortness of life. This psalm is attributed to Moses, but it's about judgment, and it's about, life is short and it's very brief. And as the older you get in life, and I know for me, the faster you realize that life goes by and how fast and quick and fleeting it truly is, right? And then we have the gospel reading, which again is about judgment. It's about, they come to Jesus with a coin and they say, is it lawful to pay taxes to Caesar or not? And Jesus comes back with an answer, render unto Caesar the things that belong to Caesar, but pay back to God what belongs to God. And of course, if that pagan coin has Caesar's image on it, give him back his piece of metal with his ugly mug, basically. But what has God's image on it? We do. Our soul is imprinted with the imago Dei, with the image of God. And we owe to God our very selves. And this is echo back to the lesson of Corpus Christi and the psalm that we had on Corpus Christi on Sunday, which was Psalm 116. And the reading began, "What shall I render the Lord for all his bounty to me?" That's where we began the reading from Psalm 116. And it's about, I will take up the cup of salvation and give thanks in the great community, in the great assembly. And so the idea is the importance of gratitude, which is the word Eucharist in Greek, which means thanksgiving. And that we owe God thanks and praise for what he has given us, right? And he's given us his very body and blood, his very son, right? And so what we look at in terms of, how does this fit with the idea of judgment? Well, at the final judgment, the question is, you can start with there's two different kinds of fear of the Lord. The fear that when I think about the final judgment, I might be punished. And that fear is rooted in self-love. I don't want to go to hell, right? I don't want to be punished. And shame before all, because the final judgment will be before all. Our friends, our family, everybody, and everything will be disclosed. Wow. And so there's a fear, and it's a true fear. Fear is the beginning of wisdom. But the beginning of wisdom is a fear that comes out of self-love, right? I don't want punishment. But a more mature fear, right, is the fear of disappointing God. And this is a fear that comes out of selfless love. I don't want to disappoint God. I want to render to God a gift for all he's given me. And far be it from me at the end of my life that I didn't return love for love, that I didn't return thanksgiving for grace, and Eucharist for grace, right? Thanksgiving. And so the holier we are and the further we are on the path of authentic love, the more our fear is informed of a fear of disappointing the beloved, to disappoint God. Versus when we're in the early stages of the spiritual life, our fear is more, I don't want to lose. I don't want to be punished. And so the question for us in our meditation today as we reflect on a final judgment is, where am I in the scale of fear? Is when I think about judgment, is it more about a fear of loss or a fear of disappointing the beloved, right? Is a fear out of self-love or out of a selfless love? Let's grow and let's ask God to bring us deeper and deeper into a fear that motivates us because we fear to disappoint our beloved. And that fear is rooted in love, not self-love. Let's reflect on that today. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.